Hey guys, it's been a minute. Not just kidding. It's been about a year, literally. Um, so I made a New Year, a New Year video saying that I would do more in my YouTube account. Ironically, not knowing that I would have a lot of things to do in said year. I expected to do more stuff like what I did mention, like doing more whatever this I'm doing, like drawing and talking over my drawings. I even expected to do probably animation and stuff. But oh, zooey, mama, whatchamadoodle. Life found a way to make me more busy, but in a way a bit more happy. Not that eventually doing YouTube would make me unhappy, but as you guys can see in recent events, YouTube hasn't been the most fun or the most money friendly in my opinion. So maybe I just expect fun non-monetized things from YouTube, and I won't do that as often, but probably in the future, and this is with crossed fingers, I would be able to do a Patreon and just do videos because of the Patreon, do a bunch of other things because I don't want to rely on my monetization on advertisements that I'm not sure will actually happen, if you know what I mean. So while you guys enjoy this drawing of myself, which is not narcissistic, it's just I'm adorable, okay? So while you enjoy that, I will be talking about what happened in the past year. For those of you who don't know who I am outside of YouTube, which is kind of weird. Why are you watching this if I didn't prompt you to if I didn't prompt you to watch my stuff? If you don't know, I'm a freelance artist here in the Philippines. My name, as you can see, is Ame-Senpai. Ame-Senpai, and I've made kind of a name for myself here in my own country. I've done a bunch of stuff like teach workshops. I've attended conventions in artist alleys, and I've even started selling my merchandise in in stores. Jesus Christ, how hard was that to say? Yeah, it's been a very busy year. Eventually, maybe I hope I could do one of those fun animation type videos. I'm still not used to making videos anyway, so probably in the future I'll learn how to narrate and draw. But for now, you're gonna have this. Just you watching my drawing, which nobody asked for. They usually just ignore my drawings in the first place. Which, by the way, go follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, I guess. I mean, if you want, I'm not pressuring you, but I'm pressuring you. So, let's talk about some stuff. Yeah, I am a teacher now. Woo! I've been a teacher for more than a year, of course. I've done teaching before I've had a formal place to teach. But now it's actually gone way better. I've gotten into... I'm not even sure if I should say the name of the workshop. I'll eventually get their permission. But they're very, very chill. They're an amazing company. If you already follow me, you probably already know them. But for the purposes of talking about it, because I don't have permission from them, I don't want to say their name just in case if it's not a good idea. Well, on that note, yeah, I've been teaching a bunch of workshops. I've been teaching anime. Yeah, that's right. I've been teaching more anime, and even though it's a very weeb thing to say out loud, it's actually really fun. I mean, yeah, it's a bit cringy to see some of my kids talk that way, but it's adorable. Like, you know how cringy we were when we were kids if you were into anime? Like, that's exactly how kids still talk, and I think that's adorable. I mean, it was cringy. It's still cringy to know that I used to be like that, but the fact that I know what it feels like to be so into anime and be so happy, and like in a way nothing else mattered as long as you had like something fun to watch after school. I was really happy for them, and also kind of jealous because their parents allowed them to go to a workshop on the weekends. Like, I had only one chance to do an anime workshop, and that was when I was in grade school, and that was like one time. The rest I had to learn on my own somehow. I watched a lot of videos, I watched a lot of anime just to learn how to be what I am now. And I'm really proud of the parents who brought their kids there to my workshops, and I'm also proud for the kids who actually, are okay with going to workshops. Does that make sense? Like, there's one type of person who is okay with going to workshops. Like, they know that they need help, and therefore they're taking at least an extra step to be able to be better at their craft or their talent, rather than like just people who are claiming that they suck but refuse to learn in any other way. Like, that's not complete diss on them. That's like not saying that they're horrible people, but like not a lot of people like it when you complain about not being good, but then like you don't do anything to make yourself be good, right? I don't want to sound like a bad person, but I'm just really proud of my students. Almost all of my students, though some of the students I have, they have a bit of a slower progress. It's still progress. I'm proud that they have learned something. Almost every time I have students that are already friends or become best friends by the end of the session, especially when I had like summer classes, a bunch of kids became friends, and that's like adorable because like they're finally meeting people who have the same interests. And gosh, I wish I had that kind of resolution when I had my classes back then, when like it was summer. Like, I had to hang out with like the teens because my brother was there too, so I can only go to the class where my brother was, so my mom would pick us up at the same time. Like meeting someone your age who is in the same community or like fandom as you, it's gotta be a good feeling, especially nowadays when you can connect properly. Back then, like, the internet didn't mean crap. I mean, yeah, sure, people like the same things as you, but we didn't know that you could talk to them as a kid. Like, we didn't know that you were allowed to have the same interests as strangers. Like, what am I supposed to do with this knowledge? Good for you. But I'm really happy for the kids that I've been teaching. As for the workshops I've been teaching, yep, I've been like just teaching them the basics. I've been teaching them the faces and the body, mostly anatomy. I've had like struggles trying to see what I should teach them, what I should prioritize, and also like, a lot of existential crises. But basically, I was wondering, am I the right person to teach this to anybody? But at the end of the day, it wasn't about me being the best. It was just about me taking a step forward to be able to teach other kids who didn't have other people to teach them. Because sometimes, let's be honest, some artists don't like to show their trade, and that's fine because that's your talent and you have your own techniques, and sometimes it's hard to explain to people. Not everyone is meant to be a teacher. I know I'm not 100% the best teacher, but I knew that because of how things here in our country, we don't really like, it's only been recently that people wanted to share the art of art, or like teach kids art as like a pastime that isn't just like just for them to go outside or whatever. It's an actual career choice, or it's an actual talent that they can approve of. So there aren't a lot of anime teachers as well. So you have like a bunch of painting classes, actually way too many painting classes. but you don't get a lot of anime classes, and the ones that you do get are probably a bit more advanced, or I haven't been to a lot, but then sometimes they go straight to computers, or some of them teach kids very basic things, or even like it's either too basic or it's too advanced, which I've noticed. And I don't know what kind of class I am in, like in what spectrum, but what I usually do is just teach them how to do anatomy from scratch by using my body as the reference and as their bodies as reference. So I would tell them, hey, look, you can see that your elbow to your arm is the same as your to your hip to your knee and all that stuff, which I did learn from my own art classes in college. And like I think it's important that you can teach kids, like don't underestimate how young kids are. Even though like they're young doesn't mean they're like not smart, especially if they're like artists. A lot of my students are visual learners, so you just have to explain to them what they're seeing. So basically asking them to break down shapes into more simpler shapes, and almost all the time they understand what that means. Sometimes people just skip to the end by just giving them a picture to copy, which sometimes is helpful, but especially if you're teaching kids who haven't seen enough people to actually understand what people are made of, or how to draw them. The best way you can do is to go to the very start and simplify shapes for them. I'll expound more on my workshop shenanigans probably in the future. Crossing fingers so hard that they become pretzels. Okay, that's not a promise, but that is an expectation. Another thing that I've been busy with last year was conventions. So I've been back in the convention game for a while. It's been a bit hard, but also very fun to just focus all of my stress in conventions. So conventions or artist alley, anything, as a lot of you guys may know, is when an individual artist or indie artist goes to attend and sells their stuff. Like all they have to do is pay for the table and just like make do with what table they have and display their stuff. To me, it's one of it's one of the most stressful yet most fun things that I was able to do. It's stressful because you do have to prepare a lot of merchandise. You don't just prepare like just a bit so it will last a few months. You really have to prepare for 2 days or more days, or sometimes one if you're lucky. But even if it was just 1 day, especially in how successful the event is from the past, a lot of people are definitely going to come. I've had experiences where I didn't sell out a lot, but I've had a lot of experiences where I did sell out a lot on the very first day. So it's kind of like a stressful situation wherein I have to really take risks, like will this sell a lot, or will I even break even, all those economic terms that I do have a workshop on. Other than that, the important thing that came out of me going to conventions was me being able to get a consigning thing to a shop. So the shop that I consign with currently is the Craft Central. Okay, now I'm not sure if I was supposed to say that, but they're a very public store and I want you guys to buy some of my stuff there. So it's from the Craft Central. So I was able to get an opportunity to sell at their store from a convention, StickerCon, and the rest was history. I was able to take more chances. At first, I only sold a bit in their store, but I thought to myself, I mean, if I got like a permanent area, maybe I'd earn more. So I waited until I was able to get that opportunity, and lo and behold, I got a spot inside the store, and yeah, the rest was history again. So I sold a bunch more stuff. It's kind of like passive income, but at the same time, whatever I don't sell in conventions ends up in the craft central. So if I don't sell out, it actually ends up in stores, and that's actually good for me. So like theoretically, or in a way, I don't actually waste my stocks. The only time it will get wasted if even in the stores it doesn't get sold. So that's a bummer. But recently, yeah, it's been great in terms of like expanding my brand, meeting more people, teaching the things that I want to teach. Like it's like since I'm a freelancer, I'm not really contributing to a company. I'm contributing more to my society, at least in at least the demographic of younger people, like people around my age, which actually is what I really wanted in the first place. Like I couldn't care more to cater to older people if I were to work in a company, which by the way, yes, I did apply to a lot last year, and it didn't matter at the end because I still chose to do all of this. Yes, it's a bit less stable, as you guys know from other freelance jobs, but in a way, it makes me happier as an artist. Not all people may feel the same way about this as me, but if you are the type of person who isn't really into companies and like really has like a really weird work schedule for yourself, you could try to teach yourself how to do part-time or freelancing. Because personally, as a person who gets very worried a lot when it comes to like working with other people, like yeah, I'm very bossy when I'm the leader, but when I'm the follower, it's like a different story. So like in a way, since I'm the boss of myself, the only person I can disappoint is myself, but I'm very lenient with myself because I'm a cool employee to myself. So it works out. If you're a person who is already working but wants to part-time with whatever I just mentioned, like conventions, go ahead and try. If you try it at least once or twice, and if it isn't for you, then at least you lived your life knowing you've tried it at least a bit. Because I started all of this by opportunity. Like I didn't have to, because I already have a degree to fall back on. But because I started this, it was like it's a why not situation. I mean, I had a degree to fall back on. I have a family. It was easy for me to start the business. But if you, for example, are starting out with nothing, you could take the risk or, find other options. I'm just a person here passing by and telling you to subscribe and like this video. I don't know, comment below what you think I should, what else I should do in this channel, because I'm really, really sorry that I haven't, it was supposed to do 100 subscriber thing. Yeah, oh god, see how bad I am at YouTube. Now I'm probably supposed to make how many subscribers do I have? 100, right? I already passed 100. Oh my gosh, I have 129 subscribers. Thank you. Thank you so much for expecting something of me. To be perfectly honest, I actually did have a Q&A video ready last year, as in no joke, but the files, I recorded it on this iPad that was given to me by my dad. I am not an iPad person. I'm barely an Apple person. So I didn't know how to transfer any of the videos to my Windows laptop. And now all of the footage is just trapped in Google Drive and the iPad. Because they all won't transfer for some reason. Like half of the things that I said are in Google Drive but out of context. Like that's how bad it is. And like my hair, like literally the last video of you seeing what my hair looked like was in 2018 when I had really short hair. Guys, I have pink hair right now. Like half of my hair is pink-ish, like remnants of pink, I guess. Like it was blonde. Like it was blonde, then pink, then purple, then like disgusting blonde. So yes, it's not pink, actually it's dirty blonde. So my hair was pink for a hot minute for the whole of last year, and I wasn't able to show YouTube any of it. You're welcome. So where was I? Yes, subscribe. Just yeah, I hope you're enjoying this new drawing I've done. It's on an iPad. It's taken me the better half of last year to figure out how to even get this on the laptop. So expect more shenanigans from me. So just comment below what you guys think I should talk about more, whether it be workshop stories, how like my students are, convention stories, like struggles that I've had, or even selling merch, like how it's like. If you guys want any of those, I'll figure out a way. Like, do you guys even want to see my face anymore? Like, is it even worth it? Yeah, look, probably on the screen, if I'm doing this right, there is a special button where you can subscribe. Do it, do it, do it. Ooh, do it, do it, do it. Subscribe.